Across Africa, cries for justice have echoed for decades. From war crimes in Darfur, to massacres in Congo, to political violence in Kenya. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, has stood as the world's symbol of accountability. But that system is cracking. In a historic move, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, three Sahel nations under military rule, announced their withdrawal from the ICC. Their message was clear. The ICC is a tool of neocolonialism. It hunts Africans while turning a blind eye to the crimes of powerful nations. The question is this the dawn of African independence from Western justice, or the rise of impunity that leaves ordinary Africans unprotected? Before we continue, make sure you watch this video from beginning to the end, because after the narration, I'll bring you my African analysis, where together we'll dissect every angle of this ICC exit. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Welcome to African Focus Reports. I am Shiz Nice, your analyst. Today, we dig deep into this historic decision, why these countries quit the ICC, what it means for Africa's justice system, and the future of accountability on our continent.
The exit announcement. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger did not take this step lightly. Their leaders issued a joint declaration, coordinated and deliberate. They accused the ICC of bias, saying it had become a weapon of the West, used to shame African leaders while ignoring war crimes committed elsewhere. They pointed to Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine, and even Ukraine, conflicts where Western powers were deeply involved, yet few have faced ICC prosecution. For them, the ICC represents not justice, but hypocrisy. Why these countries? Why Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger? The answer lies in politics. All three nations are under military juntas after recent coups. All three face accusations of human rights abuses, from mass killings to political repression to silencing of journalists. By leaving the ICC, these regimes reduce the risk of international prosecution. Critics say this is not about sovereignty, but survival of authoritarian rule. Yet supporters argue the opposite. They say this is Africa reclaiming its power, rejecting foreign interference, and standing against selective justice.
Here is the dilemma. Is this a bold act of sovereignty or a shield for leaders who fear accountability? That's the question Africa must face.
Africa's history with the ICC. To understand this moment, we must look at history. Since its founding in 2002, the ICC has opened over 30 investigations. More than 70% of them targeted Africans. Kenya's Uhuru Kenyatta, Sudan's Omar al-Bashir, Ivory Coast's Laurent Gbagbo, Congo's warlords. The list goes on. Yes, crimes were committed, but why so few cases outside Africa? Why so little progress on Palestine? Why hesitancy in Afghanistan? Why no prosecutions of US or NATO leaders accused of war crimes? This uneven record has fueled anger across the continent, giving rise to the belief that the ICC is not global justice, but Western justice. What this exit means: the withdrawal of these Sahel nations could trigger a domino effect. Other African countries frustrated with the ICC may follow. In fact, the African Union has debated a mass withdrawal before, though it never materialized. If more nations leave, the ICC's credibility in Africa collapses. Victims of war crimes and state violence may be left without international recourse. But it could also spark something new: the creation of a truly African court of justice, accountable to Africans and free from Western bias. The danger is clear. Without either the ICC or a strong African system, Africa could descend into unchecked impunity, where the powerful commit crimes with no fear of punishment.
African sovereignty matters, but sovereignty without accountability is just another word for tyranny.
The human impact. Behind these political decisions are real lives. In Mali, villages have been destroyed by jihadists and government violence. In Burkina Faso, Families live in fear of both terrorists and soldiers. In Niger, political opponents vanish into silence. For these victims, the ICC represented at least a hope for justice. Now that hope is fading. So while leaders celebrate sovereignty, ordinary citizens are left asking, who will protect us? Who will punish those who harm us? Who will give us justice? The call to Africa, the withdrawal of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger is not just a headline. It is a turning point. It challenges Africa to decide. Do we remain tied to a system that feels foreign and biased? Or do we finally build our own system of justice, strong enough to punish presidents, generals, and rebels alike? The future of justice in Africa depends not on The Hague, but on us.
This is bigger than 3 countries. It is about Africa's soul. Justice is not foreign. Justice is African. But if we do not demand it, we will be ruled by the gun, the bribe, and the bullet. The time to act is now.
So we ask you, should Africa build its own court or return to the ICC? Should sovereignty protect the people or shield the powerful? Your voice matters. Share this video. Leave a comment. Let the world know where Africa must stand. Silence is no longer an option. This has been African Focus Reports. Subscribe, share, and join the conversation. Because the future of Africa begins with informed voices and the courage to demand justice.